Welcome to Los Angeles, one of the most magical places in the world. One day, you could be waiting tables and being a busboy, and then the next day, you could be on a billboard in the face of an entire franchise.
Yeah, you can't be filming here, man.
No, it's okay. It's public property.
No, but you don't got a permit. Where's your permit at?
It's public property, bro.
And where's your mask at?
Okay, all right. It's public property, and we're 6 feet away. You came to me. You came to me. You came to me.
Why are you doing?
You came to me. Yo, Joe. Yo, let's get out of here, bro. I punched him really hard in the face. Is he gone? Yeah? Okay. Anyways, LA is where dreams come true. He called the cops. This place is cursed. Stop coming here. Don't move to LA. You know, sometimes LA is like your toxic significant other. You love them, but they'll love you back. Oh, wow. There she is. The world famous Comedy Store. Who do you think knows this place the best? Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to episode 4 of The M Word. Today is one of the coolest episodes we've done so far. Don't ask me how, but we managed to get a Comedy Store legend here in the fucking studio today. Host of The Ding Dong Show, host of the Big 3 podcast where you can find anywhere online, it's great. The mastermind behind Windy City Heat, and an LA comedy staple. Please help me welcome Don Barris and Mary Jane.
All right, Don Barris, Mary Jane, I want to thank you guys so fucking much for coming out, dude.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yes, I know it's fucking tough in downtown. The studio's located in downtown. I know it's a fucking tough drive, but you guys did it. And I want to thank you guys again. Yeah. Don, dude, first time I even knew of your existence, I was 17.
Oh, really?
I was about to turn 18, and for my birthday, I went to go see Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Really?
And you came out and just fucking ripped it. I've seen stand up, but then what you do before, I don't know if people know this, you warm up the crowd for Jimmy Kimmel.
I do the audience warm up.
Yeah. What you do is something else. I don't know, do you have another word that you call it?
It's audience warm up, or as many famous rappers that have performed on Jimmy Kimmel Live have come up to him personally and said, "You are the best hype man I've ever seen."
Hype man, dude. That's
but
what the
he's
fuck it
technically
is.
audience warm up.
I don't know, bro. I feel like there's another word for it because that shit is fucking crazy.
Well, I'll tell you this. It is funny. A lot of rappers, they would, honestly, like she said, they come up and like, oh, man, because I think they appreciate what a hype man can do.
Yeah.
They don't really, so that was always next. I remember one time DMX made a big round turn, came up and said something nice. I thought, wow, he had his big fucking, what are they? The Hummer. He had a big Hummer. Yeah. Made a big turn to just say that to me. And I thought, wow, that I will always like DMX. And I thought he was innocent when he went to jail.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Hey, free DMX, even though he's probably free right now. Yeah, that's what's up. How long have you have been doing that gig?
I started that. Well, right now we're not doing it because of this fucking pandemic. Yeah. It's been now almost 11 months now. 11 fucking months.
That you haven't done
work.
it. Yeah.
Of no work.
He'll be the last one to go back probably because he's audience warm up.
Because they don't want people, so, and it's run by Disney, so they'll make the decision.
Well, how long are you doing?
Since the show started in 2003.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So 17 years.
17 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I want to ask, does any crowd like stand out to you? Like, do you remember any particular crowd that you were like, what the fuck? Like, this is a crowd unlike any other. Or do they all just blend in?
Not really. It's just, there was there's been crazy people that have done crazy things. There was a woman that actually sat next to me, and at one point she wanted to go and charge the stage, and so she tried going out, and I remember grabbing her, and they caught her. And they just, it's crazy because you can't get away with murder there. I mean, you're gone immediately. They see and they had so many people watching. But I just remember this one person, and then she went online and talked about it. So
negatively,
yeah.
Well, she was out of line clearly.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to stand up.
Yeah.
Unless
By the way, this is water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now this is
Why are you feeling lit?
Aqua. This is really good.
Oh,
Pure Aqua water.
Thank you so much, Don. I have motherfucking Don Barris in my fucking studio right now. I'm sorry for cussing so much.
That's all right. I don't blame
you.
I don't blame you for being excited.
Bro, and then you were like, I saw you, and then, so I started doing comedy when I was 17, and then you were like, you talked about like, yeah, I'm at the Comedy Store, and da-da-da-da. And I was like, the Comedy Store, that's one of the places that I want to perform at. So when I finally went there, and because this was before they got really strict with the age restrictions.
Yeah.
When the man was do you remember when the man was murdered in front of the Comedy Store?
Yes, I did.
It actually was technically on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
it was in the city's property.
Yeah, and West Hollywood's property.
Yeah.
But after that, they didn't let me back in. I had to wait 2 years till I turned 21 after that. But I remember like seeing you walk past, and I was like, I'm gonna go fucking tell Don that I saw him at Jimmy Kimmel Live. And then I don't know, I think you went to a different room or something like that. And I was like, damn, I missed my shot of like talking to Don.
Well, you're telling me now.
I know.
This is good.
Yeah, I know. This is so sick. So, so you were doing the Jimmy Kimmel warm up for 17 years. How long have you been doing stand-ups?
I moved here at the end of the 80s from Michigan. Wow. Yeah, so I've been doing it a long time. But I just said, at first, many years, I didn't get any stage time at all. But I just said, I'm never going to stop. I'm never going to stop. I got thrown out of my place, lived out of my car. I just every day said, I won't stop. And I said, if I ever get my chance at the Comedy Store, I won't stop. So they started letting me go on. And then it became every night I went on. As a matter of fact, I figured that when the pandemic hit, I had gone on stage every single day of my life for over 17 and a half years. Either like wherever, if I was on the road, every day I was on stage at least once, sometimes two, 3 times, most times 2 times a day.
Wow. Well,
and it just ripped, all of a sudden,
just
nothing.
like that.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with it?
Not good.
It's very nice. He had met a girl at the Comedy Store that...
Ooh.
I'm going to go with the story that to get into stand-up, she bought a comedy club on Melrose, and then the pandemic hit. So she created a THC virtual open mic, and Don hosts it every night at 8 p.m., which it's not the same as him getting to perform, but it's kind of a similar vein.
How's
because
it feel?
Mitzi had him host a lot before he got passed. Mitzi gave him the potluck. He was the
you were the
official
host, yeah.
MC host for many years. So it's at least a familiarity.
Yeah.
Not everyone goes on and does stand-up. Some people just say hi to him, but it's still something.
How do you feel about the Zoom shows? Is it like wanting a steak, but it's like tofu?
We've never done or you did a Zoom comedy show. It's more the Instagram, the one person
the Instagram
to another
live.
person.
Yeah.
But I guess she had him on a Zoom show. Or what do you think about that for comedy?
That's a great question, Ray J.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love
I had
it.
to interrupt and redirect. Sorry.
I love it.
It's something to do. It's something to do. There's something about in front of a live crowd that's much different, much better. And like, I got to the point where I would go much beyond my act, and I would stay like a lot of nights, sometimes till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm up there 90 minutes, an hour, 2 hours sometimes, every single day. And I just played with the audience and played games, and started human pyramids, and just involved the audience and did everything I could to be part of that.
Yeah, that you saying that, Bro, you must have some fucking wild stories about the Comedy Store.
Oh,
You
no, I
must
don't.
be.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you see, we're in a different time. Like, one thing, like, things were different in the late 80s, early 90s, 2000s.
Yeah.
And then, and so,
Yeah.
I mean, he has some definite wild stories, but just last night, every Friday he does Simply Dawn, the Zoom show.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody started asking him about knowing Tennyson. And I prompted one story, and then the way he responded, I realized, like, oh my gosh, all the stuff I've heard people talk about, like at the back door of the Comedy Store or in the comedian's private alleyway, like with the way political correctness is now, you can't even tell, like, I'd say 50, 60% of the cool stories.
Yeah.
Not that anyone was a criminal or did anything
bet.
wrong,
Yeah.
but
I just want to say something. Both of you guys have fucking beautiful eyes, bro.
Oh,
I'm looking at you.
people say mine are prettier.
Yeah, you guys have some fucking deep ocean eyes.
Thank
dude.
you very
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah, like, I'm looking at you guys like getting lost.
Melvin, it's more that we're more than just our eyes.
Well, I understand your point, but that being said, like, one of the biggest questions that I want to ask you is if you have any Richard Pryor stories.
You know what is very funny? At one point, because I got very close to Mitzi Shore, the owner of the Comedy Store, and I asked if I could start taking pictures for her. And at the time, she never let cameras on the premises. You'd be thrown off but she started letting me. And one time, when Richard Pryor really started getting bad, he put out a book. He started coming to the Comedy Store, and it was kind of nice because I'll tell you this. It was, when he was going up, it was like the entire black community, athletes, movie stars, rappers, singers, they're all there paying tribute to Richard Pryor going on. And he could, he had a hard time walking, had a hard time talking.
Yeah.
And they were just paying tribute to him. And it was really beautiful.
Yeah.
It was really beautiful. And I do remember he wrote a book, and he kind of like at the Comedy Store, he had this book just like a signing. And I just was able to take pictures of fucking Richard Pryor. I mean, without question, I would say probably the greatest comics ever. Pryor, obviously. I'll tell you this, Sam Kinison was a great comic. It was kind of cool when I first came to the Comedy Store. I got a chance to watch Eddie Murphy from the first time he got on stage, and he said, yeah, we're going to do a follow-up movie to Delirious, and I'm going to start working out stuff. And he did like 3 jokes and got off. But after that, he was at the Comedy Store every single night. And I got to see from day one of him working on it till the finished product of the movie Raw.
Wow.
All at the Comedy Store. I got to know Paul Mooney really well. And Paul Mooney's, without question, the greatest comic you could ever see for many reasons.
A lot of big comedians always mention Paul Mooney.
Yeah.
You said that, like, since you started doing comedy like late 80s, and then you just fucking bulldoze every single night. Where'd you get that, like, passion, that drive?
I think I said, you go through life and you say, all right, what do I want to do in life? And then when you find it, you got to say, okay, I saw that most people that do stand-up, they hit a position and then their life gets turned off. They get married. They need to get a job. They can't afford to continue doing this. I said, I slept in my car twice for like 6 months at a time, a few times. And you do that kind of stuff. And you just like, every day you tell yourself, I'm just not going to stop no matter what. I was opening up for Dice Clay across the country. And then when I came back to town, we're staying at luxurious hotels. And then I went back to sleep in my car when I got back in town.
What is it? How do you get through that?
I don't know. I just wanted it really bad. And then, I'm sure that there's comics at the Comedy Store that just hate me because I go up every single night. But you know what?
That's how you fucking program.
Yeah. And I said, okay, I'll go up last. Nobody can really complain.
Yeah.
Even though they do, I just said I'm going to go up last and go up as long as I can go. And as long as I can continue to get stage time, I'm going to take that, because you got to have that kind of mentality.
Yeah.
I think everybody who gets something, you can see that they've worked hard to get there. And I just said, I'm not going to, every person I've ever seen, probably the hardest working person I've ever met is Jimmy Kimmel. That guy's he's in the middle of a party and he's in his office writing jokes. He's the hardest working, and I think that hard work gets you ahead. I just said, you know what? Every night I go on stage, people might not see it. I may change one word in the hour and a half that I'm on stage. Yeah. But that one word was what I wanted to go up and work with tonight. You know what? If I said fucking Izzy instead of just fuck, that might work better. Yeah. And I just practice it because I'm going up every night. And so I work out something. Yeah. Or try to discover something. So,
yeah, no, that's awesome. That's really inspirational. When did you start the Ding Dong Show?
Well, I would say before you were around.
Oh, way before. Yeah, I came in. Well, in the Showtime Comedy Store documentary, they actually show maybe I would guess, the second official meeting of the Ding Dong Show, because Mitzi named it. Before that, Don did a movie in 2003 called Windy City Heat. That project started in 1992, and I've been going through archives and stuff. So he had a Simply Don, the Belly Room program, where Perry and Mole would go up with a few other crazy characters. And that kind of, then at some point, it got to the point where Mitzi decided to name Don's show, because it was a bunch of other regular, like a bunch of crazy characters, but then regular stand-ups, and then the Perry and Mole like hidden in there. Yeah. And so then it was officially changed by Mitzi to the Ding Dong Show, because the Gong Show was famous, and that had a Chuck Barris.
Had been famous.
And he's Don Barris. So it's kind of a play on words. And so you can see like literally like the second official Ding Dong Show meeting in the Comedy Store documentary. And that was, I'd say, mid to late 90s. Is that kind of accurate?
I think kind of like a version
Maybe late
of the
90s.
Ding Dong Show started in 1992.
Yeah,
And
Simply
it
Don
is
the
the
Belly Room.
longest running show in the history of the Comedy Store. And they did mention it a little bit in the documentary, but they had a big Comedy Store documentary. I don't know if you saw it on Showtime. Did you?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah. And I felt honored. They put me, there's 5 episodes and I was in 3 of them, so I felt very honored to be part of it.
Yeah.
But what they did, so I've been doing that. It is officially the longest running show in the history of the Comedy Store, so that's kind of good.
So what year did you first walk into the Comedy Store?
I don't know, the late 80s.
Late 80s, right?
Yeah.
How does it fucking feel to like, you're kind of like the chancellor. Like, I mentioned in the phone call, I was like, you're a fucking staple of the Comedy Store. And you were like, yeah, you goddamn right. You were like, yeah, I am. And I'm like, wow, you're aware of it.
Well, I go there every single
That's what I'm saying. Like, I want to ask you, like, how does it feel like, because, you know, from the late 80s, early 90s, just seeing like class after class of comedians go in and out.
It's funny. The one thing that I've kind of noticed, it seems like you'll see groups of people there, but it's like, oh, that guy right there, he reminds me of this guy from 1994 that was here. He had the same similarities. He had a wife that was wealthy, and you know, he did this kind of, and you would just see people. It was almost they're interchangeable.
Yeah, like
and you
incarnations
see,
of the same prototype.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So you'd see that. That's kind of bizarre. Yeah, but
do people come to you like for advice at the Comedy Store?
once in a great while, and if they ask it, I was told a long time ago by somebody that there is really no book or any class you can take that really shows you it. They'll give you, okay, here it is, comedy works in threes, you'll get some of these things, but there's nobody that really tells you. And the only way that can be passed on, and I was told, if you do this long enough, you have to pass your knowledge on to other comics. And I took that very seriously. So if anybody ever asked, I'm more than happy to talk. But a lot of people just hate me because I get spots every night. It's not a big deal, but it's just like, a long time ago, when I first started comedy, I remember I wanted everyone to love me. And I remember if I told a joke and they didn't get it, I really was that fucking hyper. And I realized nobody likes you. You're in this by yourself. So you can't expect anyone to do anything that makes you feel good. It's you on your own. And I think that now I notice comics now are much more self-centered than they used to be. There used to be some
Camaraderie?
What'd I say?
You've stumbled it a little bit.
Well, why don't you embarrass me? The fucking M word. Yeah, now people, oh yeah, hey, I saw you on the M word.
Wait, let's save your dignity. Spell it. Go ahead.
I'm not going to do anything.
Okay.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good. Thanks for making. Well, you know what? Take care of Mary Jane. She's done.
I'll apologize.
Have you ever tried getting special?
No, because my feeling is what I'm doing on stage I like, and what I wanted to do was to try to get to a point where people would come to me, and I didn't have to be judged, to have fans that like me enough. But so you got to do that through other projects or do it with stand up, and I'm not getting any stage time. Nobody else ever asked me to do shows anywhere.
Why do you think
That's not totally true.
I think it's because I'm black. And
Because you're black.
I didn't want to bring this into a race matter, but I think that's a lot of it.
I think, yeah.
And I was very lucky to talk to Paul Mooney because I learned a lot of his lines and I use them now.
yeah. That's so cool, man. Again, I want to thank you guys for coming out. We're actually about to transition to the living room area.
I've heard about the living room.
Yeah, it's actually really special.
Yeah.
And I made it just for you guys.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, I can take the drinks over there.
All right.
And yeah, we're gonna transition to the living room. Here we are with Don, Barris, and Mary Jane. Thank you guys again for coming out.
Nice to have us here as well as the bar.
Yes, the bar. We're fucking drunk as shit right now, dude.
And I hadn't drank in so many years. But guess who's drinking vodka again?
Well, how long have you been sober?
What's that?
How long have you been sober?
Kind of a comedy story on that. When I first came to the Comedy Store, every night you go there, comics could get 2 drink tickets. They could be used at any time. If you didn't use them that night, you could use them later. So when I first went there, like most comics, you get a job. And I worked a lot, parking cars. And people, instead of giving me money, would give me their drink tickets. So I'd have stacks of drink tickets. So I could get as shit-faced as I wanted to every single night. And then one day I was at an opening of a comedy club and I got shit-faced. I mean, I was drinking champagne and people were like, wow, I've never seen you this drunk. And I felt a little bad. But then the next day I started realizing, wow, at that party last night, I saw Jerry Seinfeld, I saw Jay Leno, I saw this person, I saw that person. And the thing that I noticed on every one of them, None of them was drinking. And I was thinking, wow, I moved out here from Michigan. I could have drank and gotten shit-faced in Michigan. And I said, I kind of embarrassed myself because everyone noticed that I was drinking and I was out of control. And I said, I'm never drinking again.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. When was this?
I don't know. I guess I could figure, I guess,
2 years ago?
no.
That's
Probably 19, actually I could tell you. It was 1988 and it was the NBA Finals were on TV and the Detroit Pistons were playing the Los Angeles Lakers. And the Pistons lost to the Lakers in 7 games. And this was on game 7, this party was. Wow. So I was watching the Pistons lose, and that's part of the reason I was drinking, because I was such a fan of the Detroit Pistons.
The Bad Boys.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was I don't know, to be honest with you, I think that might be one of the great times of the NBA. You went the Lakers and the Celtics, and if someone was going to beat somebody, they had to get past. They finally got past the Celtics. Then they lost to the Lakers. Then the next year they beat the Lakers. But the team they kept beating all along when the Pistons were winning were the Chicago Bulls. And they had a thing, Jordan rules, and they had like a way to stop him. And they did a pretty good job.
They did a phenomenal job for many years.
And then after that, the Pistons, when they were on the exit, Chicago passed them. So it's like torch to torch to torch, which was pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it was Isaiah versus Magic. And remember, everyone was so upset because they kissed before on the cheek. They were like best friends.
Right.
And they kissed before these the championship, and like they say that both their teammates were like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude? Like that's like Isaiah's teammates are like, what the fuck? You just fucking hugged Magic?" And then Magic's teammates were like, "Bro, what are you doing?"
I'll tell you something. Being from the Michigan area and Isaiah going to Indiana and Magic at Michigan State, I went to Michigan State, and you heard rumors about all the stuff that happened there. And they were the best of friends. And they used to but here's what happened. So here's where things get fucked up. Now, and this is something, should I tell?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, wait a second.
I will give a disclosure.
No.
What he is about to say might be a hallucination, it might be a dream, and it might be reality. Take it away, Don.
Okay, thank you.
Just say that, and you tell me all the Comedy Store stories too.
I can't. I will say this, though.
Yeah.
During that time, Isaiah Magic, the best of friends, when Magic got the HIV, Isaiah came out, and I'll bet you nobody in this room will know this or remember this. Isaiah came out and said to Magic, "Why don't you tell him how you got the disease?" They stopped being friends. Now, let's take it a step farther. When they had the Barcelona Olympics, where they had the first dream team, Isaiah wanted to play with that, and he deserved to be on that team. His best friend was Magic Johnson. His coach, Chuck Daly, was the coach of the team.
Back-to-back champs a couple years ago.
And what did they say? Michael Jordan. I think it was Magic for what he said back then on how he caught it. Yeah, because
to this day, Michael's like, I didn't say shit. Yeah.
So look that up. Did ever hear about that? Anybody?
No.
Am I right?
No.
Yeah. Look it up. Well,
are you implying they were on the quote unquote down low, or they were heroin addicts?
You put it in your own mind.
Yeah. This might be a hallucination or
I don't. Well, but you know what? Look it up and see. I actually got in kind of a disputed, not argument, with Bill Simmons. Are you familiar with Bill Simmons? The guy who wrote the Bible to the basketball, where he ranks all the players. I watched recently, I know it was on many years ago, but he was interviewing Bill Russell. And you look at Bill Russell, that's a champion amongst greater than anybody in the history of sports. 11 times in his pro career won an NBA championship, played 13 years. His last 2 years in college won NCAA championships. So in 15 years, he won 2 NCAA championships and 11 NBA crowns. Nobody can ever compete with that.
Yeah.
I just saw that interview with Bill Simmons.
So what was
Who's
your
a big
dispute with
Celtics.
Mr. Simmons about the
Oh, yeah.
previous topic?
I'm not going to go into it.
Oh,
I just brought it up to him.
Yeah.
Because I think Isaiah Thomas.
Well, he used to get his mouth used to get him in a lot of trouble. Like, remember what he said about Larry Bird?
Yeah. Well, actually, if you want to get it completely right, Dennis Rodman said it.
Oh, yeah.
And they asked him
Oh,
if he
that's
had,
right. That's right.
if you want to get the
Isaiah was like, well, he's not. Dennis is not wrong. Like,
and that was the way it was. So he wasn't saying that was he gets all. Rodman was the one that said Larry Bird gets all the credit. If he was a black guy, he wouldn't get the credit for being as good.
That's what he said,
And then Isaiah did, like you say, said that. So, well, we're talking NBA.
I love this. I'm a huge basketball fan.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
me too. And I'll tell you this, it is funny to look at LeBron James. What a fucking structure. I mean, God said, okay, I am going to give you.
I thought you were going to talk shit. I was just like,
No.
I was like, Don?
No, this guy,
Dude,
you can't.
A specimen.
He is just, you look at the way he's built and how quick and how unbelievable he is.
Yeah.
I was watching the game last night. He came across and just
threw
it. Like, it was just like.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple nights ago he dunked it, but he brought it all the way down here. And it's just like, this is his 18th season.
Yeah.
No other player, not even Michael was doing that.
Yeah.
In his 18th season.
Well, but, he did have his 4 years of college taken away because he went right from high school on.
You play ball?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
For sure.
Wasn't a bad athlete.
Were you a shooter? You were a shooter.
I was a shooter and a hustler.
Oh, I can fucking tell.
I was a hustler.
Yeah.
I was one of these guys, if you came
You were
down.
like Klay Thompson.
I would go down, if I was, when I would play, people didn't respect me because I'd go to courts and they didn't respect me. But I was just in there and I'd get elbows and I'd fucking come back. I'm not a pussy. And that's the way I played. I played like a psycho fucking guy. That I would cover the guy full court.
Bro, I fucking see it in your
And these guys hate that.
I see it in your fucking beautiful eyes, Don. You were a fucking monstrosity on the court. I used to hate playing against players like you because it was like, bro, chill. Like,
yeah.
Oh, there's
And that's
no
reason
chilling if
they
he's
do this. I get a lot of fucking elbows.
yeah.
There's
And
no
that would just
chilling
probably,
if you're doing comedy.
No,
get you
they-
better, huh? When
Sports,
someone used
forget
to,
it.
So Don, I want to ask you about some things, and if at any time you feel uncomfortable, you don't want to talk about it, just tell me, and we'll move on.
Yeah.
We talked about how you kind of see class after class come in and out of the Comedy Store. And as beautiful as that is, that can sometimes be a little heartbreaking because you see, as many as success stories and beautiful stories you also see some heartbreaking stories. And I kind of want to, ask you about something that happened a couple years ago that really affected the comedy community. And I know that you were close with him. I want to ask you about Brodie Stevens.
Stephen Brodie Stevens, to be exact.
Brodie is a strange guy that it's very funny. Brodie passed away, I believe, February 22nd. And what's kind of sad is because for the longest time, I tried to work with Brodie and for the longest time, Brodie fought it. You don't get it. I get comedy. And he'd say, I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you get comedy. And you're wrong here. But I also knew, his struggle with drugs, but drugs that were given to him. And I saw the pain he went through because he was like, I'm not taking drugs. I'm going to be okay. I'm fine now. And then he'd start freaking out. And it's just, eventually, he ended up, for the people that don't know, he eventually killed himself. And when he did, like less than a couple weeks before, I had been trying to get him to come on this tour with myself and my Ding Dong show. and we could play music, we could do all this stuff. And he finally said that he wanted to do it. And he started hanging out with us constantly. Like the last month, on New Year's Eve, he came and he played at our New Year's Eve show with us. And he was really he was getting it, as he would always say. He's finally getting why the two of us were gelling together. And then he died. And it's funny because, it's not funny that he died, but the timing was funny because before he died, I had been scheduled, and I've never seen this, I know that it's out. Somebody who was in New York was doing a documentary film about audience warm-ups, and I had suggested they use Brodie too, because he did that. And they had me doing this documentary film like 2 or 3 days after he killed himself. So when I went there, and I've never seen it, but I would imagine, because it was still pretty fresh. I mean, that hit me pretty hard. I used to say to him a lot of times, especially when I was trying to be uplifting to him, "You're my best friend in comedy." And there's something about that that's real. I gelled with him comedically, and I probably hung out with him more than anyone else, except for Mary Jane, of comics in my history. So it was very difficult, and you think of what those drugs do to you.
Can I interrupt? Pharmaceuticals.
Right.
I don't want everyone to think that
But they were like depression drugs.
Yeah.
And he'd go on and off, and knowing Brodie, and just to see him just like, okay, it's go time, and just to see, I just can't imagine what the fuck was going on, and it still baffles me. It still baffles me. But he never saw any of the pandemic, so he might have done the right thing. He might have checked out at the right time. But it was something very confusing, because to me, comedy is kind of like Never Never Land. You never grow old, everything's the same. The Comedy Store to me was a safe zone. That was kind of broken up a little bit when the guy was shot on the sidewalk.
On the sidewalk in the city of West Hollywood.
West Hollywood, yes.
Yeah.
But the video I have of that is differently.
No. It legally happened on the city property. It
All
was
right.
not on the premises
All right.
of the establishment we're speaking
Must
of.
have been a crazy camera angle that I had.
You went to the HR meeting.
Yeah.
It happened on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
But Brodie's a good guy, and I really am upset, because for years I wanted to do things with him, and we were starting to do it, and we were making plans to shoot this, and so that was a tough one.
Yeah, I met Brodie a few times, and I actually hung out with him once. So the first time I ever saw him and even knew anything was at Flappers or Burbank, and I was doing the smaller room, and then there was just so much noise coming from the main room, and I walk in, and it's just fucking Brodie, bum 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 on a chair,
right?
And everyone's losing their mind. I had never seen anything like that. I was like, who the fuck is that? And everyone's like, oh, it's Brodie Stevens. This is Brodie Stevens. He was in The Hangover. And I'm just like, The Hangover? And then when I watched it again, he was there. And I'm just like, whoa, what does he do? And another comedian was like, well, he just does that. And it's funny and it's awesome. And I was like, wow. And then a year later, I go see the show at midnight.
Where he's the warm-up.
And he was the warm-up guy. And I was like, dude, I've seen you perform. And he was like, oh, thanks, buddy.
Good for you.
He was like, thank you, buddy. And I'm just like,
this guy gets it.
Yes, yeah. So what was the area code?
818
818 till I fucking die,
And I'm
dude.
sorry to say he died there. I prefer to
And
think it was
he
autoerotic
repped that shit till he
asphyxiation.
fucking died, dude. That was beautiful. And then, you know what? And then a year later, I did a show at a hat shop in Pasadena, a hat store. and I'm about to go up, and all of a sudden backstage, who comes? Brodie Stevens comes. And he's fucking pissed about something. And he's like, those motherfuckers don't know who I am. They don't get it. And I'm just like, and like the booker's trying to console him, and I'm like, holy shit, Brodie Stevens. And he's just like, how are you, buddy? Fuck those motherfuckers. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, dude. And like we all hung out after that, like just backstage, and he was just the nicest fucking guy. He was so dope. And yeah, I remember how, and I want to ask you, and I don't want this to come off disrespectful, but when you guys had the eulogy and the remembrance at the Comedy Store,
Yeah.
as a fan of comedy, obviously as a person it's heartbreaking, but as a fan of comedy, all those legends, remembering Brodie, that's kind of a legendary day at the Comedy Store.
Well, there just seemed to be so many of them.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's just like, and I don't know if it's because I literally felt like, wow, there's a lot of phony people that come out of the woodwork when someone passes.
Did you feel that day?
Hell yeah.
The big people that spoke, the people with,
Yeah.
you know, I
Like
mean,
Zach
they
Galifianakis
were
loved
really
him.
sincere.
Yeah, and I saw the leaked
was
footage on
breaking
YouTube.
down.
It was
Yeah.
heartbreakingly funny. Yeah. It was so funny what he said.
But you should
But
have
he was
seen up
crying.
close. And before he walked out,
He was a mess.
his heart was in the right place for sure.
Zach Galifianakis,
I'm glad to
I'll
hear
tell
that,
you
actually,
this.
'cause I was about to ask that.
he
No,
was,
they
he
were
was
truly,
real.
truly
He
buddies.
truly loved Zach.
They're roommates, right?
Well, I wouldn't, Brodie stayed at his place. I don't think they were like, hey, bud, I need you to clean up your area. No, it wasn't like
I
that.
think it's been said multiple times. Zach said in his thing that when he moved to California, he didn't know anyone yet, and Brodie would be there constantly.
They had a Comedy Central. I remember I woke up one day at 3 a.m. and I clicked on Comedy Central. I was like 15 or 16, and they had a documentary
show.
type thing.
Yeah.
With
cartoon.
Kind of. No, it was like an in-person documentary thing, and they would go to his house, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I don't know if I could do this comedy thing." And Zach Galifianakis was just like, and then it said Zach Galifianakis, Brodie's friend, and I was like, "Oh shit, he knows Zach Galifianakis?" Because The Hangover just came out, and I don't know what that is. I wonder if someone in the audience could probably.
What's that? Oh, it might have been his
first
show.
special, Brodie's first show.
I think it was his show.
It was a Comedy Central show.
It was a Comedy Central show, and they did have some. What is it called? Making it. Or
got it?
You got
Enjoy it.
Enjoy
Yeah.
it.
Okay, that must have been it. Yeah.
And that was, but
Yeah.
they had a lot of cartoons in there because it was him talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
a lot of things.
Yeah.
And they did it very artistically.
But I didn't
it
recognize
it
him,
talked
yeah.
about his breakdown
Yeah.
and what happened after that.
Yeah.
And then they tried to come. Wow.
We witnessed that firsthand.
Yeah.
From him
Yeah.
at the Comedy Store around that time, and the other stuff.
Well, he said he was going to shoot somebody at a coffee shop.
Well, he
Oh,
was
I do
fighting
remember
with
that.
people at Starbucks.
Yeah, he would always post photos of him like this at a Starbucks, like that. Like, and you were one of his last posts. You were in one of his last posts
Yeah.
on Instagram.
Oh, the All Things Comedy
Yeah.
podcast.
We did 2 podcasts
Yeah,
the
they did a
last
dual
week of his
podcast.
life.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I did one on mine, and then I did his, and I told him we're going to do a dual podcast, and I'm going to take my part on your podcast and put it on my next podcast. So there was 3 podcasts that we were involved in, like
To
last
overlap the same thing.
last couple weeks of his life.
Yeah, it was really not expected. It really, really came
It
as
really,
a surprise.
it's one thing that really threw me. I mean, the only thing that I can even say that was close to like response from like the comedy community was when Sam Kinison died. Sam was like such a shock because it was just like something that people heard. But I just remember when his agent called me, and Dave Rath, who's a great
Brodie
guy.
you're speaking of, not Kennison.
Right.
Yeah.
And he just, it was like 1 PM, so I'm not even close to waking up. And he called and just said, Brodie's gone. And he was crying. And I said, where did he go to? And I was like, really? I had no idea.
Yeah.
And it went into it. It was like, it just took me a long time to really, really get involved. And I remember telling Mary Jane, I don't even want, at the Comedy Store, I said, I may not even go tonight. And I said, I don't want to go. But then so many people from the Comedy Store said, everybody's waiting to hear what you have to say. And I'm like, oh, now I've got to go and speak.
Yeah.
And so what I did, I thought I handled it in a good way, and I was complimented by management saying, oh, wow, you let us laugh again. Because I went up there and I just said, I did this podcast with Brodie, and Brodie, because the last time that I really talked to him, he was after the podcast I did with him, and he just, oops, sorry about that. I was the podcast that I did with him, and at the end, I could sense something was really the matter with him. And I called him, and I spoke with him for about an hour while driving around. And at the end, he just really thanked me for, he really needed to talk to somebody to set it. And because he was feeling really low, and I thought, wow. So I told everybody all these things, and I said, and then the very last thing that he said to me, if I do anything to myself, let people know I never liked Brian Holtzman. And the place was packed and it erupted. And people were very nice about that, saying that, wow, you let us laugh again. So it was, but that was a very tough thing. It was a very weird time.
I can imagine. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were going to be like, fuck you.
The
got
fun
so
thing
scared.
with Don and Brodie were they were such passionate athletes.
Yeah.
And you segue that to comedy. Not everyone understood the rivalry. Because, athletes love other athletes for the most part they're in a rivalry with. You're playing this,
But
your
Brodie
champions playing this.
played college baseball. But I think he was just a pitcher. I don't think he was
Excuse me, are you being catty? Are you still...
Well, I figured this way. This is my chance to tell everybody I was a better athlete.
What did you do in baseball?
around.
What position did you play in baseball?
I played second base and did a little catching.
Oh, okay.
But he was a pitcher. And pitchers, they either have it or they don't.
He had it till he threw his arm out.
Yeah, well, he couldn't hit.
How do you know that?
I know the type.
Wow.
Well, let's not talk about Brodie anymore if we can.
Yeah, thank you for that, Don. Thank you, Mary Jane.
Brodie is very, very much missed. And I feel terrible. The worst thing I think about it is the fact that, him and potentially many others with the pandemic, it's like if he, in the afterlife, went back to the Comedy Store to check in, nobody's been there for 10 months now.
11 months. I will say that, what was I,
Was about Brodie or Ghosts?
it might have been about Brodie. No. Fuck, I'm at Melvin Studios.
It's called Studio M.
No, I call it Melvin Studios.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's so funny.
I've never called it anything except
Melvin Studio. Oh man. I would ask you some more questions, but that last part was just so powerful. I think so far this has been one of the best episodes. This has been one of the coolest things I've ever done, to be honest with you, Don.
Well, I feel sorry for your life.
Yeah. Wow. Do you guys want to ask them anything? Oh,
I want to hear about Ghost, the comedy story, dude.
oh, you have some stories?
I have two. The very first one. One night I'm in the kitchen of the Comedy Store, and they have these napkins, and I start counting them, putting them on the bar. I get to 213. As I put them back, I count 215. Where did those other two napkins come from?
Dang, so it's a hotspot for paranormal activity is what you're telling me.
Well, you can tell, a shiver just went up. I do have one that might be the closest to a ghost story that might be real. Mm-hmm. At one point, I didn't do it at night, but when the club would open up, I would go in and sleep backstage. So at 7 in the morning when the custodians came, I would go in the back. And one day, I'm in there and I would lay these pads on the floor from the couch. It was really, really small back then. And I hear walking in the back hall behind the main room stage. Now in there, usually, do you guys know who Angel Salazar is? That I like to call Angel Salad Bar. He was a comic, but he's probably best known. He played the role of Chi-Chi in Scarface.
Oh.
And now Chi-Chi was a small Hispanic dude in that, but if you don't, here's a little story that I had heard about that. In Scarface, Al Pacino used to, he got his Tony Montana from watching Angel Salazar do his act, just talking. And so he started talking like them. So it screwed Angel Salazar because in a lot of scenes, they would cut out his dialogue because it sounded too much like Al Pacino.
Oh, wow.
But, so Angel Salazar was a pretty big comic, but he was a prop comic. And he'd always close out the main room, and then the next day he'd come and get his props. I thought, oh, this is Angel. All right, I'm gonna pretend like I'm sleeping. So it was a very small room backstage at this time. The door opens and I'm pretending like I'm sleeping. I feel someone walk over me and go into this bathroom. And now I wait and wait and wait and wait and nobody comes out. And finally, I can't take it anymore. I open the door and nobody's there.
Oh, wow.
But I heard this, it stepped over me. Is there any other, maybe I fell back asleep and I didn't know it when they left, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
So that might be the closest to ghost stories. And I used to be obsessed with that because they claim that the Comedy Store is one of the most haunted places in all of West Hollywood. Yeah. And it has, they claim that a woman had an abortion in the belly room and that ghost still haunts there. There's people that say all that. And I wanted to see stuff. And at points, I used to ask, like when they would have workers working on it, they needed someone to spend the night there to watch the workers. So I would spend the night there just hoping to see ghosts. That might be the closest, besides the napkin thing, the two closest things.
Yeah. Wow.
So there's a little ghost thing. Anything else?
Oh, well, actually, we're a big fan of how you wore 1,000 shirts in 1,000 days.
Yes.
You started again.
Yeah.
I started again because I fucked up and I didn't wear the same shirt, but I wore the same style of shirt on different days, and I didn't keep that accurate of a record. So I thought, well, I'll just get to 1,000 different. So I wore 1,003 different shirts, and I said, starting this year, I'll try to really set the world record.
Yeah.
And what is the world record? Nobody knows.
1,003?
No.
Oh.
3,000
3,000 and something. So it would take me over 10 years to get it.
Oh shit! Well, do you consider you can wear jerseys as well?
No.
No.
T-shirts. They have to be cut off sleeves.
Well, normal sleeves, no long sleeves,
Yeah.
no cutoffs.
We got you a jersey.
Did you?
Oh, he loves
Jonathan
jerseys.
got you a
You
jersey.
could just have this, and it could just be a regular shirt, not tied to a world record. But I had actually gotten this, and it was it came
Atlanta
too big
Falcons.
for me. But
Atlanta Falcons.
wanted to give it to you as a gift.
Oh, thank you very much, Jonathan. I greatly appreciate it.
That's
Thank
right.
you, man.
Yeah.
So Don, how's the Big3podcast.com going?
The big three is the Windy City Heat. Got a movie of it. We have a bunch of podcasts, but it's the longest running prank in maybe American history. It's going on, this is the 29th year it's been going on. What we've done is we can put all this in a pay site, and we only charge $5.99 a month, and it kind of shows all the podcasts we do. We just had on Doug Stanhope on one of our
that's
podcasts.
awesome.
So if they go to Big3PremiumMembership.com, they will be able to see the entire Big Three vault. Some videos will go back to the early 90s. All the videos of every single podcast done in the past decade.
Yeah.
What we mentioned earlier, Simply Don the Belly Room program
Yeah.
with Perry and Mole, that stuff, tons. Everything in the Big Three vault will be in Big3PremiumMembership.com on the jersey.
I want to thank you guys again, and here at Studio M, can you go grab this up?
Melvin Studio.
Here at Melvin Studio, Studio M, the Flower District. I know traffic was a fucking bitch today.
Yeah, it was.
We like to give flowers out. You know.
You get them for free. Might as
No.
well.
We had to pay for these. Do you have the flowers?
They are. Where are they? That's a great question.
Come on, Jonathan. What
Jonathan.
the fuck?
We like to give flowers when people are alive to receive them. And I don't, I'm not sure when's the last time you received flowers, but this is from the M Word team,
Hey guys,
from
thank
us
you.
to you.
I think I'm crying.
Like you don't fucking realize like the fucking effect you have on people. Like I still remember the day I first saw you, and like I thought you fucking ripped my fucking face off the Jimmy Kimmel set. It was something like I've never seen before, and I fucking see you all the time at the Comedy Store. And I'm not bullshitting you. Like I know it seems like I'm fucking kissing your ass and some shit.
You're not kissing my ass.
Bro, it's fucking crazy that you're in my studio hanging out with us right now, dude.
I'm honored and thank you very much. And you've
Yes.
done something very special. I'll tell you the truth. Jonathan, give me that fucking shirt that I won't need. Really kind of pissed me off. This is very nice.
There you go.
Mary Jane, I
Same
bought you
with
some
Mary Jane
flowers.
as well.
Thank you.
Mary Jane, thank you so much for accompanying Don, and you were a fucking absolute delight as well.
Well, thank you. You're very nice, and I'll tell you the God's honest truth.
Oh, these are
There is
gorgeous.
no way in the world I would have come here if you weren't so nice in your first approach on me. So thank you very much. Good job. And guys, thank you. Fuck yeah. We ought to fuck some girl together sometime.
Thank you so much.
Hope you guys enjoyed the show. The entire M-Word team wants to thank Don Barris and Mary Jane for coming out and hanging out with us. And we want to thank you for watching it. Episode 4 has been fantastic so far. We've been receiving a lot of great feedback. If you guys want to help the Comedy Store, go ahead and visit all their socials. They're one of the best clubs in the country. So we would really appreciate that. And stay tuned for episode 5.